I've been asked to read more of this diary of a young boy from the early 1900s, the late 1800s. He was 12 years old, 13 years old, thereabouts. He was a trapper. He was an industrious little fellow, and I read a few entries from this diary, and people wanted more. So let's start from the beginning and see what he has to say. I haven't gone through this. I don't know what it contains, so we're going to find out together. To answer just a couple of questions real quick, people ask why I have this if I'm not related to this boy and who it was, and I could probably go on the internet and search and confirm some of this stuff. And anything that I find, I have confirmed. I know who the family was. I know at least 4 generations of this person. This person grew up to get married and have a son who was the first American casualty of World War II. The first American casualty of World War II. And I could do a whole separate video or series about Bob Losey. This boy's father was killed in the sawmill here in town. There's a whole story about that. And I have the will and testament of this one's grandfather hanging on my wall in there. Just because it's cool. It's handwritten. So though I'm not related to this boy, I know quite a bit about his family and their involvement with our town. And at one point, there just weren't any more descendants. So what happens to your stuff when there's nobody to pass it along to? Well, nowadays it winds up just in a thrift store or on an auction site or in a Cracker Barrel. But back in the early 1900s, they often just got passed on to someone who you thought would really care about them. And that's probably how that wound up in this house, which again is over 200 years old, and I'm the 7th generation in it. So we've got quite a collection of just really neat stuff. So thank you for thinking it's neat too. I seldom get to do this with people IRL. Diary of Leon Losey, bought March 9, 1892. And that probably is his writing. March 9, 1892, Leon Losey's diary. There was no school today because John Hazlett was very ill. The Jewel League met at Mrs. J.D. Campbell's around here, is how we said it. Frank Eaton helped father half a day in the mill. That was the sawmill down here on the river. March 10, 1892. Snow is falling very fast. It is about 10 inches deep. John Hazlett is a little better. Frank Eaton has helped father all day in the mill. March Friday 11. The wind has blew all day and all night, and the snow is drifted very bad. Murdy Birch has a baby. It was born last night. It looked like he tried to erase it or something. There are holes through it here. Except this is that iron ink. I don't think you can erase that. Saturday 12. Mr. Hazlett is a little better today. The weather is very cold and the wind has blew a little. Mother is quite sick. Saturday 13. I went to both Sunday schools this morning. I heard that Mr. Hazlett was a little worse this morning. I have just finished reading the New Testament today. Monday 14. Mr. Hazlett is worse and they don't think that he will live. Mr. Owlett is moving in Mr. Congolin's house today. It is very cold and the wind was blue all day. Tuesday 15. Mr. Hazlett died this evening about 6. The funeral will be Friday, 12 N. It has been quite cold today. I cut me 3 bows for my cross gun. There will be no school this week because Ed Hazlett is teaching upstairs this year and his father is dead. The weather has been quite warm today. I rode up to West Farmington with Mr. Kelt's the Aid Society met at Mrs. Kelt's for the benefit of the M.E. Church. Well, that started out strong. That is the first full week of Leon Losey's diary at age 13, 12, age 12. And his teacher passed away, and the other teacher upstairs in the schoolhouse is taking the week off too because it was a father and son teacher. And I know the name Hazlett. I'm going to do some digging and see if I can't include it in this video. So stick around. Maybe I'll do that week by week. We'll do a week of Liam Losey's journal, 12-year-old boy living in rural north central Pennsylvania at the turn of the last century. And if I've got any other like little things that I can add on, I will. Yes, here's the entry for John Hazlett. Died March 15th, 1892. And here's a brief life history of little Leon's teacher who passed away in the first week of the diary that we're reading. It shows information about his parents and where he passed away. March 15th, 1892, at the age of 69, and was buried in Nelson Cemetery. And here's the son who taught upstairs that took time off when his dad passed away, James Edward. A lot of the times people went by their middle name. People in my family have gone by their middle name. But here it's confirmed anyway a little bit further on in the page. Ed Hazlett, son of John Hazlett. And that son, Ed, was very civic-minded. He was the chairman of the Nelson School Board and chair of the Tioga County Republican Party. He was the secretary of 1895, Campbell Reunion and president of the 15 Reunion, usually signed his name J. Edward Hazlett. And I am actually a part of the Campbells. I mean, like way far back, my family is part of the Campbells. And as it is in little towns like this, it's like the Luggs, Blackwells, Hazlett's, Campbells. Like it was 5 names that were all married, and that's the club they're talking about. The Campbell Reunion is like the main settlers of the town. And the person who got me interested in our family reunion on this side was Bill Thompson, and he passed away not too long ago, which was sad because he was really the family historian and like the local historian, and his memory of James Hazlett, which was Ed Hazlett, the son who taught upstairs in the journal entry, that person hired Bill's mother for her first teaching job right out of Mansfield Normal School, which doesn't exist anymore. Normal schools don't exist anymore. Bill's sister met him, but most of the stuff that was written down was based on stories that she heard from the older generation. And this is the school that they taught at, the Nelson Grade School. Yeah, over in that section, I think. Here's the Losey section. Oh, man. Help me out with this one, please. Made it better. There's Artemis. There's James, the father. Jenny, the mother. There it is. He was the teacher in the Nelson schoolhouse. There's his wife. And his son, who taught upstairs at the time, he took a week off of work when his father passed away, was Ed Hazlett. And I would have to look this up to confirm, but that's a J.D. Campbell that was alive during the proper time. So this would have been Mrs. J.D. Campbell that the Jewel League meeting was held.